Any and all expressed, shared, or implied suggestions, opinions, actions, jokes, discussions, or points of view shared on the Indigenous 21 podcast are our own, hosts and guests alike, and strictly for entertainment purposes only. They do not represent opinions or beliefs on any background groups we might identify with, such as family, village, clan, tribe, gender, age, ethnicity, race, religion, socioeconomic status, sexual orientation, education, or career professions. Content shared on the Indigenous 21 podcast can and may be emotional or thought-provoking, and as such, may contain controversial subject matter. While it is not our intent to create environments that will cause harm to our audience, we advise that you feel free to stop listening at any time, as these controversial subjects will continue for any given length of time. We believe in making the Indigenous 21 podcast to be a safe space for open, honest dialogue and/or discussions about any given subject as they arise from our hosts, guests, and audience commentary. Discussions, information, opinions, or suggestions shared on the Indigenous 21 podcast should not be acted, attempted, or relied upon as professional guidance or advice.
Yes, welcome to the Indigenous 21 podcast, where we discuss modern Native narratives in the 21st century. Samit Vaya, Yan Hope Matsiwa, but you can call me JD.
And I'm his sister, Nikki Venci and Matiwa, but you can call me Didi.
And welcome back to a little bit of a hiatus. We've not been posting an episode in the past couple weeks. It's been very hectic and very stressful, really.
Yeah.
I think with the whole election thing, which, by the way, I hope you guys all like my shirt. This is something that I designed myself. It was available for a limited amount of time, but I think people have posted interest and have emailed me saying, hey, where are your shirts at?
Yeah.
So I might make these available. Be on the lookout for that announcement.
It's pop culture.
Yeah.
Native pop culture.
So those of you guys in the Native community, you all know about, we're just not on something else. So, there's something else podcast took a break for a while.
Yeah, the last segment that we did was our interview with Gabriela Casares Kelly. She was running for Pima County Recorder, and the results from that, that was the voting results. She actually won. So, yay! Congratulations, Gabby. After that, everything was pretty much centered around the election, and there was just a lot of current events that were happening, a lot of conspiracy theories.
A lot of it on my end was just, checking in every now and then. I wasn't adamantly following it like the whole process, but I check in at least once a day to see what the progress was. And he's still denying that he lost, So,
yeah, I really stay away from watching anything that he posts or that he's on, just because I don't.
Even in the news.
I don't. I really don't.
I just get the highlights, I get the highlights on YouTube where they post to their own channels.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I get to see this story, that story specifically. But with me personally, it's what concerns me more than him is just his group of followers and people who worship this guy. And that's what ultimately scares me are the people themselves.
Yeah.
Who
for the most part, I try not to give him any kind of endorsement or those people any kind of endorsement by, watching it, resharing the content, unless it's like way off and it's like from a meme or something that I think is really funny.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's from them directly with them speaking or anything like that, I just turn it off. I don't indulge in it at all. So
the other thing too that we were kind of struggling with, and that I have made apparent, I've within my own social media posts, I have, let people know, don't forget that there are Native people who actually voted for this person too. So again, I know it's a spectrum. We tend to, when it comes to these political arguments, we tend to
at least they voted
black and white, but it's like there really is a lot of us fall within the middle ground. I mean, from a traditional aspect, some ideas that we have in terms of cultural behaviors and everything like that would be seen as conservative. We do come from a very conservative culture in being that we are trying to preserve this part of our
Yeah,
lifestyle
and
and
on top of
identity.
that, we're really socialists,
Yeah, see, and that's
communities.
the other thing about it too is we are very communal
Yeah,
and not that's where we
yeah.
go against
We'll celebrate
capitalism.
individual gains, but as long as you're not forgetting the community as
Yeah.
a whole.
So going into those aspects of considering the community, I
Mm-hmm.
know that the holiday season is approaching us. We have Thanksgiving coming up this week,
Mm-hmm.
which is a controversy within itself within our own community because there are those hardcore natives who are like, "Why are you even celebrating Thanksgiving? I don't even recognize Thanksgiving." But there are a majority within the native community. We do still get together. We still have these great dinner events.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything natives can do, it's eat.
Not just Thanksgiving, but also Christmas as
Yeah.
well.
Well, I mean, just any ceremonial gathering, there's always food there. So this being the time of year where families do get together, but given the current circumstances of how COVID numbers are rising again,
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted us to go into what our plans are for this holiday season. We actually have made the decision to actually not be with our mother and our father this year for Thanksgiving, something
Yeah,
that we do every
that
year.
was a hard decision to make because we had planned on, because, we've been doing a really good job on keeping to ourselves our own home unit, which is myself, my brother, his husband, and my own son. We've been doing a really good job at keeping to the social distancing rules, and then as well as our parents, our mother and father who live out on the Tohono O'odham reservation.
Good hour outside of
And
where we live.
so they keep to themselves. So that has really been our only thing, because we're still less than 10 people. And yeah, we're traveling, but when we're traveling, it's for essential reasons.
Mhm.
So when they come in to us and
It's for their shopping.
yeah, it's for their essential shopping. And for us to them, it's because, well, they have free laundry.
Free washer
They
and
have
dryer,
free laundry
so we go and
facility.
take care of our laundry down there. So this time, what we ended up doing is instead of because we have gone at least twice since lockdown, like we have seen less of them than what we normally would be if it weren't for COVID and everything.
Yeah.
Like that. So we've only gone out to their place like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, we try to keep it really limited.
Yeah. And this time we just said, well, just have Dad come over, pick up the stuff, and he'll take it down and
yeah,
because there's some business stuff.
Yeah, we've even done that where he's had to come in and like we just go down to the car, load it up really quickly, and then he takes off.
Not really a lot of socialization and everything like
it's hard too, and we've been doing a lot of Zoom calls or Google Hangouts calls with
our oldest
sister, and then them
and her kids. Yeah,
so,
and Mom really likes it when we do that.
Yeah,
because she's down in sales. We're here in Tucson. Our sister's out home on Hopi.
Yeah.
And I was just saying, like, we should do that this week.
Yeah.
Like Thursday or Friday, we should do it this week because we haven't done it in a while.
Yeah, I mentioned it to both of them, and both of them are on board with it.
Yeah.
So,
this is what our plan is as far as our family unit is concerned. Because I do go to work on a campus with kids, and Mom does work for a school as well, but they're still online learning. They're not meeting on campus. We're just thinking, it sucks, but just like the smarter choice, the better choice, the more loving choice is to, in our opinion, just not to have a get together yet.
Yeah.
So, and I think, honestly, like the husband has been okay with it because and your son too, because they're more introverted. So like,
yeah,
like we're okay with not huge, large gatherings and keeping to ourselves. Like that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So our question, I guess, for you guys is, what are your thoughts on, family gatherings? Do you have elders that you have not seen in a while? And because another argument that a lot of people are using for getting together is, we have these elders and they're not going to be around for too long. So we might as well just go see them and have our kids go see them. And,
Yeah. Yeah, I've
How do you
seen
feel about
that.
those arguments?
I understand the frustration of it. Because, yeah, like I said, we do check on one another very often. We do visit one another very often. We're not like most Anglo families, I guess, where they only see one another on holidays.
Once a year,
yeah, like occasionally. Mm-hmm. It's a continued check in with one another, and to us that's second nature. For us to go this long without seeing one another, that's actually taboo. Mm-hmm. And but at the same time, between the matter of somebody living, and I get that they're older, I get that they're not going to be here for much longer, but I
Like,
hate
you don't
to,
want to be too judgy on other people.
I don't have a way of saying this without sounding too harsh or judgmental, but in my opinion, for me, if it was me making the choice, it's pretty selfish because it's my own unrestness, I guess, and my emotional feeling that I'm having, that I'm struggling with, and that I'm needing to I guess I would consider it as my own personal struggle, emotional struggle, and something that I'm feeling maybe might be a disconnect that needs to be fulfilled. And I'm deciding to make that choice and go ahead and see my elder despite the fact that I might be bringing COVID into their home.
Mm-hmm.
But then also on another side to that is that what if the elder doesn't, maybe they're living in circumstances to where there is no electricity, there's no running water.
So you have to bring them these essentials.
Yeah, so you have to bring them these essentials. If it's for that, that's completely different. But if it's just like they do
up in their house,
if they do have modern conveniences,
visiting other places,
right,
and then visiting them,
right, and if they are maybe of that age where they are cognizant and they're able to help themselves to the small things, I don't know. It's all circumstantial and all depends on the context.
Now, see, this is where I think a good point to bring up is that our experience right now is we have no grandparents anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Going through these times, so
our parents are the grandparents.
Our parents are the grandparents. So we honestly don't know what the experience is like to not have to go see So'o or Kwa'a. You know, it's
that's true.
We're not having to endure that right now, so we don't know what that feels like.
Yeah, that's true.
Honestly, you know, our comment on this particular subject of, you know, going to see elders is kind of limited because we're not.
We never came across that where we never were.
Like, you can't go see them.
Yeah,
you know?
We were banned.
Yeah,
basically.
Because you did. I remember when Jason was really little, you still went to Grandma's house over in Houghton Villa.
Yeah.
And you stayed there for a couple overnights to help.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just the hard part with the holiday season is that it's a time for families to come together. But when it comes to like the gifting,
yeah,
I think the whole online thing, but this is circumstantial and it's subjective based on where you live.
Context.
If you're an urban native, it's very easy for you to have online access, making online purchases and having those online purchases being delivered to your family members.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to go through you. You just make the purchase, gift wrap it or whatever you're going to do with it and send it. This is where I want you to send it to, not to me, because it's not for me. If you're on the res,
it's different.
There's still that interaction. You know, we are notorious for our community bazaars, our community sales, all of our artists who like vend off of the street or in certain communal areas where we do have them set up, you know, their booths and their arts and crafts. I am actually going to be participating in an art sale coming up the first weekend of December. And it's one that I've participated in the past where it's specifically for Native artists down here in Tucson. So, you know, how do you feel about instances where public interaction is being made on that sense, where it's this person's income that is at stake here? And so, you know, I've seen a lot of posts too on Facebook of people like, hey, I have this for sale. I have this for sale.
Yeah. Everybody's moved towards Facebook
sales.
Yeah, Facebook sales. Like there has been pages made specifically to sell online. They're called online yard sales. And people have been posting whether if it's, you know, like a regular yard sale where you're selling secondhand stuff, like gently used stuff, clothing, or also artists, like you said, specifically their work, whether it be wood carving, painting, stickers, drawing, stickers, apparel, prints, clothing, apparel, jewelry, beadwork, all that stuff. So, as far as a physical gathering, I don't know. Honestly, I'm surprised that you're participating in one.
Bringing it up.
Yeah, again, that you're that you've consented.
Like okay,
you've consented to participate in
it's
it.
my husband too that brought it up because he also participates in this as well. So
Mhm.
he's the one who told me, hey, they sent us another email,
Mhm.
and there was no objections on his end either.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
Okay.
It's really
Why not?
But on the other hand too, where we did discuss, I don't know if we've recorded it and posted it, but I have brought up in the fact that culturally, our hygiene practices from a cultural standpoint as a Native community aren't really like ultra hyper clean, OCD, wipe everything down, you know? So interactions between Native people, are we going to be taking the necessary precautions of making sure our patrons have have their masks on,
Mhm.
making sure that, I don't know, are you going to allow handling of these objects because people do like to inspect the products before they purchase them.
Yeah.
So how are you going to navigate?
Well, then too.
Do I want to buy this and do I get to look at it and handle it?
Are you gonna
inspect it? You know,
Yeah.
are you gonna say no? You can't do it. You just how
Window
you see
shop.
it displayed is what you get. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna buy it.
Yeah, window shop basically.
Yeah.
Only. And then on top of that, is it the same one that you guys went to last year down by?
Yes, it's the Mission Gardens.
Okay.
Right by Mountain,
So just for context, that particular art show,
it's an outdoor setting.
Yeah, it's an outdoor setting, and the vendors are really
way spaced out
really far apart from one another. And from what I remember, at least the times that I've went, the people traffic there, it's not as if you would go to maybe like Fourth Avenue Street Fair or the swap meet.
Mhm.
So it's a bit more
relaxed.
Yeah, there is social distancing that naturally happens anyway, even if it wasn't part of the guidelines.
Yeah.
But I think that's something that you guys do have to think about is how you're gonna conduct yourself this time around, in consideration of social distancing, and like having to disinfect and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you guys might have to put out strict restrictions on
no handling of the items.
Yeah.
Well, for me too, fortunately my packaging is like they're already in clear plastic bags, so they're kind of like sealed in their own individual things,
and that's fine.
Yeah. So I don't know, this is just something that just came to mind, like this is something that's coming up. What are we gonna do?
Well, then you also mentioned too about the holidays and Native American families or in Indian country. In Indian country, basically, there's a lot of push on the other side from why are we celebrating these holidays
when they're not culturally ours,
I think I have a debate with that particular perspective, because the way we celebrate them now and practice them now, it's under the guise of
commercialism.
No, well, yeah, that, but also church, Christianity, Catholicism, but
Christmas is
all that stuff, and they're like, well, that's not us, that's not our tradition, that's not our culture. But then historically speaking, I know that we've always had harvest seasons, festivals, and it coincides around the same time, during what we now know as Thanksgiving. And then there are winter solstice
real sacred
services that happen around the time that we now call Christmas. And I know that's not and I know that's not just for our own tribe, but also other tribes.
So you say that Christian is its own thing, but historically our tribal experience, our tribal history is that we were isolated enough to not really have that much heavy influence from the Christian faith.
Right.
Whereas other tribes, if you go into New Mexico, they're basically Catholic. Down here, they're Catholic. For sure, they're Catholic. You know, so if you're talking about the Christian church separate entity, yes, for our experiences as Hopi, yes, there still is a huge separation between if you're a church religious person and you go to church and you go to the services, it's not the same thing as going to a kiva. Yeah. Whereas in New Mexico, you literally have a church right across the street from where the kiva is.
Or the church is the kiva.
Of the kiva, yeah. So I think one thing to consider, yes, it's like everybody Christmas yes, miss,
Christmas.
however you say it in your language, which it's the white word for it because we don't have a word for it. But I wanted to get into specifically the capitalistic aspect of it, where it's like spending the money, and I know I'm kind of like coming from a weird space because I am an artist, I am a vendor, so I do make profit from these seasons,
Right.
um, but I don't know. It's baffling to me how much we have strayed from like what the actual meaning of these holidays are in pursuing all these materialistic things. And I don't know. One thing I just wanted to comment on within the Native community is that we always refer to Black Friday shopping, Christmas gift shopping as as white culture. At least within our elders, that's what they call it. They call it the white man's holidays.
Yeah.
This isn't part of who we are.
Yeah.
Culturally.
Yeah.
So this is just something new that our communities have adopted because it's a way for them to gain something.
Yeah, but I like now how, especially in the past several years, with the major push of social media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that stuff, how we kind of use that to highlight local artists. And now instead of most of it, like we would go to the stores like Walmart, Target. Best Buy, Target, hit up all those stores, stay up, overnight just so we can get those deals. But now there's this shift to having us buy locally and putting our money back into the local economy. Yeah. And how Facebook and, like I said, all these social media platforms have allowed space for us to
find each other.
Yeah. So I like that, of the deals and all that stuff. Yeah, it's happening on coinciding with the same day, but at least there's more a push. I see that the trend and the migration movement is where we're wanting to buy directly from whoever it is that is putting out the product.
And I think it's because the uniqueness of the product too. I think we get to say that we're owning in most cases a one of a kind piece.
Yeah.
Handmade piece.
Right.
You're not going to find, like my earring designs, you're not going to find that anywhere else. And there's other people who make their own styles who are that similar to the style of the earrings that I make, but that's their own
flair. They add their own flares into it.
They have their own style in creating those. So, and I have made about 14 sales within the past week. So like the business is pretty cool because on online marketing, if you're a native artist, if you know someone in your family who's a native artist, they really do need to capitalize on the online marketing because that is what's going to push them to not only like be, I hate using the word constrained, but like the limit to your own home community. There's potential for you to be able to sell to other people outside of your community. A lot of my orders have been coming from Hawaii, from California, from Washington. From New York City, I've
you basically have the ability to broaden your customer base.
Yeah, and that's led me to really push for designs that aren't specifically Hopi, And like I've been thinking, okay, what if I incorporate more designs? And I don't know. For me, it's a good challenge because it pushes me to explore other aspects in my designs and like, okay, how can I reach a broader customer base? Right. But still put a little bit of my, my cultural influence into my designs. And, a lot of people say they like them. And I'm thankful for their business. So, it's really cool. And seeing all these younger artists like we have within our family, Awenma, who's very, very talented. Mom purchased, she commissioned, like $100 piece from him that's now hanging on her wall. So business wise, it's pushing us to become more innovative, and that's what I love about the bright side. And what I see all of this is that it's forcing the marketing industry to adapt, and us artists to adapt. So that I've seen a whole lot more artists from at home utilizing online marketing with like Instagram is offering it now, but a lot of people using Facebook. We have the social distance powwow group, and a lot of us artists are posting to there. So that's one way we've had like just res artists who have in the past only dealt with like in-person exchanges are now knowing how to post this product and put it up online, and how to interact with people who are asking questions about that product.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool. The family aspect of all of this is, do we plan a trip to go see our grandparents? Do we plan a trip to, have a get together?
No, not right now.
Ceremonial get together,
not right now.
Tribes.
We're not ready yet. It's not just the pandemic. It's not over yet. We're still in the season yet. And I get that it's a long season. This is just my opinion. We're just not there yet. In my opinion, we're not there yet for gatherings, or I don't know, but
even ceremonial.
Yeah. Well, some
churches are doing online.
Some have, yeah.
Go to the Cuba.
Yeah. Aside from church, yeah.
Go to the Cuba for your online.
Aside from Christian and Catholic churches, I mean, I know there's already been some ceremonies happening, but they've adapted it to accommodate to where it's not over more than 10 people gathering. But then there have also been decisions for other people too, where those bigger they're carrying on risks with, well, they're not carrying on, where they're fulfilling the ceremonies as if there were no pandemic. So I don't know. It's everybody's. As far as ceremonial services go, that's different. I'm not in those circles. I'm not.
But you're still saying people shouldn't be gathering in groups, and they're doing that.
Yeah, but again, I'm not a kikmongwe. I'm not a leader. But
you already said no.
When it comes, because your question was for, should we be seeing our grandparents? Should we be going on vacations and all that stuff for commercial shit? So I say no for commercial stuff.
But then when it comes to spiritual
stuff, it's each individual's own choice to make that decision, or whoever's the leader of it.
But what I'm getting
to make
at is
that
that you're
decision.
saying family shouldn't get together because groups of people are coming together.
Yes,
it's the same thing. Even if it's a ceremonial,
I know that. I know that. I know that. And
so should they or should they not?
I don't know. I can't answer for other people. All I'm saying is,
but you're telling other people to not.
I'm not telling any. I'm not telling. Okay, so when I say no, we're not ready for that yet. That's my opinion, but I'm not telling anybody to not go out there and not gather. I'm just saying no, we're not ready for it. Everybody has their own accountability to answer for, their own choices to make.
And then when it comes to these choices, you're considering what's going to happen after you make that choice. IHS, at least down here, has been at capacity for testing. There's a waiting list for testing. Who's going to see you in the event of an emergency? What's the bed situation like? How are you going to be seen for appointments? I don't know. It's decisions,
Yeah. And like I said, I put it in my personal opinion. I don't think we're ready for it. That doesn't mean me saying that doesn't mean I'm telling anybody to not gather. That's a personal choice that you have to make for yourself and take accountability for whatever decision that you decide. Me personally, I don't think we're ready. I never said don't gather. I just said I don't think we're ready.
So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this session. We talked about a lot. We went everywhere on this.
This one was just a shoot the breeze kind of episode.
Yeah. We haven't been here in a while. So we just wanted to this is what we need to talk about. And we just mashed it up all into one episode for you guys. But, let us know what your thoughts are. If you're an artist, if you have a young artist within your family, would you consider pushing them to? Is
your family going to gather for the holidays? Are they not? What are your reasons dinners? Why?
Do you even celebrate Thanksgiving? Why do you not celebrate Thanksgiving? There's a meme I saw, something about all of you guys are posting all these pictures about how white people shouldn't be dressing as Indians for Halloween, and next thing you know, you'll all be gathering for Thanksgiving.
But again, culturally speaking and historically speaking, before the church times,
We already had our stuff.
We already
But
had
that's how
we already had celebration
marked around these certain
around
times.
these
Yeah.
calendar
But
times.
that is how the church infiltrated these
Yeah.
other cultures. They went ahead and made up their own
Mhm.
celebrations around stuff that was already celebrated within the
Mhm.
communities, within the tribes. And that's how they infiltrated
Those
that's how they asserted
calendar
their culture
festivities,
into indigenous tribes, you know.
Whatever
So,
though. Whatever. If
but
you don't
yeah.
want to celebrate it, you don't celebrate it. But leave me alone with my turkey legs.
We got turkey legs.
So, and let me enjoy it
Just
the
for
way I'm gonna
ourselves.
enjoy
Nobody's invited.
it.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Again, my name is JD.
I'm Dee Dee.
And we are Indigenous 21 Podcast. Thank you guys so much for
Don't
listening.
forget to like, share, and subscribe. And also follow us on our social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook at Indigenous21, Indigenous21.
No space in between them. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, you can go ahead and just listen to the audio version of this podcast on anchor.fm. Search for Indigenous 21. You can also find us on Spotify, Indigenous 21. You'll see our star logo, and you'll be able to listen to us there in the car, on your phone, wherever you want to listen to us. So thank you guys so much for listening. Go ahead and interact with us in the comments. Go ahead and send us a message on Anchor if you'd like to record yourself, just your voice. We want to hear from you. Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys in the next one.